All right, this is just an update. I wanted to hold myself accountable still and just show some progress I made. I haven't been able to work on it a whole lot. It's finals, so things are getting a little bit more stressful. I also just uploaded. I realized I hadn't uploaded Devlog 1, which was showing the inverse kinematics using Final IK, and their components had that VRIK. So that's still implemented. Um, I have an animator kind of set up, but I haven't fine tuned it a whole lot, so I don't have it implemented yet. As far as like the lower body. So, for example, currently when you move the character controller, it doesn't do any animations on the lower body, and so it relies entirely on VRIK, which is like doing the side steps and um, everything like that. So it kind of looks like, from a third person perspective, it looks like a drunk guy stumbling around. So that's why the animator, I need to make sure I get that done. Um, but I wanted to just show some of the little bits I had done with the menu. So networking is coming along really, really well. I was able to test it with my buddy who lives down in Indiana, and I live in Michigan, and we were able to see each other, and we were talking in party chat through Oculus. So don't have VoIP yet, but we were able to see each other. We were able to walk around and control that, and that worked well. However, with VRIK, I need to tweak a couple things. And he's not available to show this right now, but I was able to tweak a couple things, or I need to, because my visual representation of his body language, it's pulling that from my controls. So I would take my controllers and do whatever motions I was doing. It would also replicate that onto his character. Even though he was able to control his own position and his own rotation, it would map my hand orientation and everything to his character controller's position and rotation. So I think that has to do with, I need to add some network transforms and things like that to the headset and then the two controllers. Um, and if I can have those three things map, because there's not a lot of people talking about it, and I found one forum where they're discussing this, but if I can have those things map over the network as well, then I can have VRIK on my system calculate what he should look like. So his system will send over his information about where his headset and his controllers are relative to his body, and then mine will calculate, okay, using VRIK, where should his elbows be? What does his body language look like? And so that's how I think it's going to turn out. But this is, I just wanted to show a little example of my world, I guess. But the menu specifically. So there's also a bug in OVR, not in my stuff, but potentially you can break the OVR grabber if you destroy the grabbable around the time that you are releasing it. So if you destroy it and it's like in the middle of whatever finalizing code it has, and I looked into it a little bit, and I made a post in their bugs forum. Um, but so the workaround for that is right now. Ideally, I want to be able to use the menu button here, press that to spawn in the menu, which that's how it's done right now. But I also want to be able to press that to despawn it, or whoever the most recent holder has the ability to press that a second time and despawn it or destroy that game object. Currently, that system it'll break your grabber, so you can't grab anything if you destroy it right as you're releasing it. Um, and so it's going to come down to uh, actually, I just thought of a much more optimal way to do this. But right now, it is it's on a timer. If it hasn't been touched in 5 seconds, it'll blow up or it'll destroy itself, and then you don't have to worry about it breaking. But now I think I'm going to set the timer to a boolean that checks whether or not my button will work. So that way it won't blow up on itself after 5 seconds. It'll just like say like after a quarter second from being released or a half a second, we can do that, and that'll be much nicer on the user experience side. I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier. But then also, I'm debating whether or not I want to have that time limit. Like if somebody hasn't touched it in a while, if it'll blow up, or if I want to have it where if it's a certain distance, it will blow up. Because one of the features I want to implement is like every single person can have their own custom menu controller. In this case, the default is green. But I want it to be able to where like I can toss it to my best friend, and he will now be able to hold a green menu controller, and his menu will pop up. But every time he spawns it in, he's only able to use whichever menu controller he has purchased or he has achieved or unlocked or whatever. But I think it'd be pretty cool because it could be interesting for the community at least to have like some cool trick shots of just like throwing a menu control across the map or something like that, and having somebody else catch it and then edit something on the menu, and also like being able to see other people interact with their menus with only having like sensitive information sort of locked out for IPs and things like that. But it'd be really cool and interesting to see like so and so's in their menu rather than just seeing their character standing there poking the air, actually seeing the fact that they have a menu. It's pretty cool. So now let's launch this. Quick walkthrough of it, and what it looks like is it's sort of like a captain's chair. So if you're not a ship, I think like Star Trek, like having an arc of a menu all around you, and you can spin that around you. I do have to add it where it'll work with both controllers. Currently, it's just you can't move, and it's locked to the left one, where you hold left and it'll rotate the menu around you left, or hold right and it'll rotate around you to the right. I want to have it where if I grab it, I can grab it with my right hand, but it's still only listening to the left analog stick. Super easy. Just add a couple if statements, and I'll be done with that. But make it so like if I grab it with my right, then it'll try to disable my rotation, so I won't be able to rotate my body. The right controller will then control the spinning of my menu, and then I can still walk around with my menu. Long-term goal with it is that the menu will be to prevent other people from annoying you or getting in between you and your menu. Your character, your clipping plane, will. I don't know if I want to do clipping. I'm gonna have clipping planes for the layer that is remote players, so other people can't walk in front of, in between me and my menu, and they'll clip out. And then also I want to add like depth of field. So depth of field in VR isn't really encouraged a whole lot because it's hard on the eyes, because if you're trying to you can't tell exactly where they're looking. Eye tracking isn't implemented in a VR headset. And so say my face is pointing at my monitor, but I'm really looking to the left, it's going to think that this is what it wants to be in focus, even though I'm looking over there, and so that's just really bad on the eyes. Now, what I do want to add, though, is I think I can implement this to where it won't be disruptive, but have depth of field for when the menu is out. So that everything outside the menu is defocused, it's not in focus, and everything inside that range of your menu, your body as well as the menu itself, everything is crisp and in focus. And that can also help a lot with sort of when the player is going clipping in and clipping out. If they're walking next to you or through you in your menu or something like that, it'll help detract that from being super egregious to how it looks. Okay, so just to show the menu, let's throw this on. The menu will spawn, I think it's like 3 feet out in front of you when you press the menu button. So I'm going to little green right there, just reach out, grab it, and then it pulls up the menu. So right now, depending on where I'm looking, currently the UI is set to go off of gaze. I don't like it a whole lot. I'm definitely going to be changing it to where it goes off of the controller, but I can hold left or right and spin it around me. And so that's the current setup. And if I let go of this, it'll despawn the menu. I can grab it with my right hand. Same thing, but this will rotate me. So this is the part that I have to change, and I can hold left or right on the movement, and it'll do that. But that's how that's currently set up, and then I can chuck it out however far, but after 5 seconds, it'll despawn itself automatically. And there it goes. And it keeps track of the current person holding it, the most recent person holding it, as well as the person who spawned it in. So, because that helps keep track of like whose it is, and if you want to have it differentiating like different colors for different unlocks or things like that. And then I wanted to show networking, but Matt isn't available to spawn in and show that. Plus, I have a little bit more to do there. But this is just it's finals week. I haven't got to work on this a whole lot, but I want to make sure I had showed at least what I did update. One note though, right now I'm looking out on a 2D screen. This looks really obnoxious, the amount of bloom that I have and the glow from the sun out in the distance. And like if I look over at the sun, sometimes it seems on 2D screen really obnoxious, like right there. And trust me, it is not. And I did this from the ground up in VR on purpose, because I felt like in VR the effect is not as obnoxious as it is on the screen. While it's the same rendering thing, how it's perceived by the user and how I perceive it, this looks so much more realistic inside the headset than it does on a 2D screen. And so that's why when I did my post-processing, I purposefully kept my headset on almost the entire time when I was doing that. But I just wanted to acknowledge that and address that. But yeah, this is just a quick update I wanted to go over. Oh, also, over here I added just a audio file. Yeah, the audio source, so that if you walk close to, you can hear like a tavern as you're going in there. But I don't have the inside built for that yet. I'm slowly adding sounds. I have tree ruffles and like leaves across the whole island, and I want to make it so that once you get into a town or a farm area like this, the volume of the rustling kind of diminishes. But that's gonna take a little bit more time. So yeah, there's just an update. Keep myself accountable. Finals are almost over, so I'll be able to work on this again, some more. But that's all for Devlog 3. See you later.